Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. We have a returning guest and friend to the TED Show. Doug Leedy is back with us. He's going to share multiple ways to diversify your real estate business. And in this crazy market, we all want to diversify and kind of figure out what it is we're doing and do more with the resources that we have. And Doug comes to us with a lot of experience and some new ideas. So, welcome back, Doug. How are you today?
I'm pretty good. Ted, how are you?
I am great. Thank you so much for asking. Excited and thankful that you were patient as far as scheduling this. My schedule has been a little bit off lately. Actually, it's always off, but super off lately. So enough about me, though. They know about me. Tell them a little bit about the Doug Leedy story.
Okay, I'm a native of Ohio. I lived in Ohio for 62 years before I moved down here to Florida about 10 years ago. I have been a realtor. I have been an appraiser. I've been an investor. Now I call myself a guide. And I think that's becoming more and more valuable today because, as you mentioned, this economy, what's going on, I don't think anybody really knows where things are headed. And I believe that AI is going to have a tremendous influence on the real estate business. It's going to have a tremendous influence on everything. So we need to, I'm sorry, we need to,
I agree.
Yeah, we need to prepare for this. My biggest thing is I want to show people how to become diversified within real estate. Any good financial planner will tell you diversify your investments. And I think the same is true within real estate.
So what does that mean? Tell us what that means, because I'm fascinated by that. I agree, but tell us from your perspective what that means.
Well, realtors get tunnel vision. They get tied into listing and selling and staying out of trouble. That's the kind of training that they get. But they don't really get trained on how to really utilize all of real estate. There are so many ways to make money and save money in real estate. It isn't even funny. I've got a list of about 40 of them that I thought up. And if people want them, they can email me and ask for them, and I'll be glad to send that list to them. But I also would like to have a conversation with them because there's just so much opportunity right now. All this new technology has changed a lot, and it has opened up so many doors.
So what do you say to people old dogs like us that say, "Oh, I don't want to embrace that. I'm too old for that." What do you say to people like that?
Well, I am one of them, and it is tough to teach an old Doug new tricks, but it's possible. But I'm more focused on the younger realtors. They're the ones that have the trouble. It is awfully hard to compete with 25, 30-year veteran realtors. They have their whole network put together. They have their system. They have word of mouth. They have everything going for them. And somebody new in the business has a big uphill climb.
Yes.
They have got to find things to offer that most realtors don't. And I've got a number of those.
All right. So share with us, because I think you're right. It's tough in this market when you're getting into it, even your sphere of influence, depending on where you're at. Seasoned realtors tend to have been through a cycle, so they understand how to work the ups and downs, or at least most of them do. So tell us some of the ideas, because I think that's so important for people to get new ideas on how to utilize the resources within their reach.
Well, sure. Here's an example. Buying notes is a great way to expand your current business. You don't take away from it, you add to it. And buying notes, buying tax liens, understanding velocity banking, for example, where you can pay interest and minimize interest and pay principal down much quicker. It's fascinating. It's a little bit complicated, but man, you can save tens of thousands of dollars doing that alone. And it doesn't just work on a mortgage. It works on any kind of installment debt. So how many of your clients have student loan situations that they have to deal with? Well, velocity banking works with student loans. It works with
What's velocity banking for people who don't know that term?
velocity banking is simply a different way of doing your banking. I liken it to the difference between compound interest and simple interest. You're simply paying principal off, but you do it differently. You use it by using lines of credit rather than a checking account. You put your money into the line of credit and you pay everything out of there. You just use it like your checking account, but it is simple interest. So when you make these payments, you're really cutting down on the amount of interest that you pay.
Now, do you work in that? Tell us a little bit about what you do, because you're what did you say, a guide? I like that. That's good. So, in your daily practice, in your daily work, what do you do? Do you work with velocity banking? Do you work with notes? What is it that you do? Because I do want to talk about that.
I work with a company called Renatus. Renatus is an education company. It's fast becoming as much of a financing type company as it is a real estate education company. And we teach people how money works, how banks make money. We teach them entrepreneurship. This is a company, it's the best kept secret in real estate. It has been around for almost 13 years now. We have well over 15,000 of our investors and students around the country. We're in all 50 states, and nobody's heard of us.
Until you.
Well, the reason that they haven't heard from us is we're not the kind of company that gets you into a meeting and we have people at the back of the room wanting your credit card. We want to establish relationships. We want to get people who really want to learn real estate and expand a real estate business and get into real estate investing in all the different ways there are to invest. In my opinion, this is the business and education model of the future. We all know that the education system is failing us. And the big term right now is trades. They're saying, get into the trade instead of going to college. Well, this is kind of the equivalent of a trade. It teaches you real estate. The nice thing about it is that you don't need to have a college degree to do real estate. You don't need a license to do real estate investing. You don't even need a high school diploma. So that's why I call it the business and education model of the future. It's a fit for everybody. And there are a lot of people who have just given up on the education system. This is a new way for them to get new life.
So walk us through maybe, or give us an example of a module or how that works, because I think people are going to listen. I know they're listening and they're going to say, all right, that sounds good. You're absolutely right. I feel like I read a million books and then nothing's happening. And I don't really know what direction, and there's so many options. Give us an example of one of the things that you all do.
Sure. We offer 82 classes.
Wow.
And each of the classes is 6 to 8 hours long. I call this, I don't know if this is accurate or not, but I call this the equivalent of a master's degree in real estate. We teach everything from how to set up and structure your business to actually how to do tax liens and buy notes and that sort of thing. So we have a couple classes in tax and legal. They are taught by a guy who is a CPA and an attorney. He's written 4 books. He has a national podcast. He's been on all of the national financial channels. He's been doing this for, I think, 22 years, if I remember correctly. He's driven, and he's been with us right from the start. He's excellent, and he has a sense of humor, so he's kind of fun to listen to. And so one of the things that he teaches is how to hire your children. Now, if you can hire your children, the tax advantages that you get from that are phenomenal. Now, I'm not an attorney. I'm not an accountant. I can't give any
You
of
don't
that
play
kind
one
of,
on TV?
no, and I can't give that kind of advice, and I wouldn't begin to. But he does. He knows all this stuff inside and out. And the things that this can do for you and your business, it's phenomenal. You can pay your kids up to $14,000 each, and then you can write that off of your business. And think of the lessons that that teaches your kids.
Right.
It's amazing. It teaches them the value of a dollar, teaches them hard work. They can work on your properties if you have properties. They can wash your car. They can file. They can do all kinds of things for you. And then you don't give them an allowance. They earned their money.
Right.
And great life lessons for them. And nice business things for you too. So that's just one of the things that he teaches. And I have a little clip that I can send to people if they'd like it, so they can email me and ask for that too.
I love that. I think that's people are looking. There's so many tips and insights that their resources are out there, but it's very hard to figure out where to find them. So with Renatus, right? Renatus.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And Doug, that's a great kind of and explain how the modules work. Is it in person? Is it recorded? Are they all Zoom like? Tell them a little bit about how the structure of the classes are.
It's everything you mentioned. You can go out to our home office in Utah, and you can sit in on a live recording of a class when they're doing that. We form local communities of our investors and our students. So we have weekly meetings, not everywhere, but most everywhere. We are in all 50 states, but we don't have local communities. And I think if I remember, it was like 27 states we have communities in somewhere, and some states multiple places. So that's a great support system. And then Zoom has made a big difference for everybody.
Yeah.
We have got stuff 6 days a week that you can find on our calendar all over the country. And as long as you're a member of Renatus and own the education, you can tune in. So that's the way that works.
I love that.
Yeah, and we have a whole network across the country. And again, I've got all kinds of little short clips of what people have done with this. It is absolutely amazing. I've got a clip, we call it the Walk of Fame, and it was done at our national convention a couple of years ago. And it was very spur of the moment. Nobody knew it was happening. It wasn't planned or anything. And Bob Snyder is our founder and CEO. And he said, everybody that's done a real estate deal because of Renatus, I want you to come up on stage and just give me your name, where you're from, and how many deals you've done. It takes about 20 seconds. That lasted for 80 minutes.
Wow.
It was unbelievable. I think there were 173 people that went through that line.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was just early movement stuff. This is effective. It really is. It works. You have to work at it.
Let's talk about the working at it. So if there's, let's address the younger realtors or the newer realtors. You can be older and still be a new realtor. Just
yes.
I want to make sure I make that clear to the audience. So they are listening to this and they say, okay, I'm very interested. What's the process? Like, do they have a beginner's module that they can sign up for? Give them a little bit of how the process would work. They reach out to you first, obviously.
Yes. And I want to have a conversation with everybody. I want to get to know people, and that's the best way to do business. I'm a Midwestern guy from a small town in a rural area, and that's the way I've lived my life. Yeah. So that's what I would like to do. But we sell education. We sell it we have different levels that you can get in. I think one of the best values out there anywhere is what we call our essentials level education. And it consists of 10 classes. Each of them are 6 to 8 hours long, and 2 bonus classes in that. So it ends up, it's about 80 hours of education. And you can get that for $2,337. I think that's the best value there is. The velocity banking is a part of that. So you can actually learn how to save tens of thousands of dollars, and it costs you a couple grand.
Yeah, I think people are back to engaging with educational opportunities because of the challenges of the market this year. And it's not just real estate, guys. I mean, everybody has had challenges in their businesses, but from a real estate perspective, a lot of people rode the wave in 2020 and 2021, and they've really been struggling since 2022. So we're going on almost 2 years of struggle in the real estate world. And I think they're finally realizing, hey, let's definitely engage in education. The difficulty is trying to figure out which of the multitude of educational platforms are the ones for you. And that's what I feel like makes Doug's company different, because Doug's your conduit, Doug's your person, your guide, as he mentioned earlier. And I think that's really important, because anybody who wants a check out the gate without any kind of discussion, those are the people I would stay away from, me personally. But there's a lot of them out there, and they sell a lot of classes. And Doug, Doug really wants you to be informed when you make that decision. And there's a lot of people out there trying to figure out. So you can check Doug out, but I definitely want you to reach out to him.
And our classes are taught by what we call practitioner instructors. These are people who are out every day making their living doing what they teach. They're not educated idiots. They're not graduate assistants who are teaching for a professor who's writing a book so he can get tenure. These are people who are out in the field every day getting their hands dirty, and they're conveying all of their knowledge. We have 42 instructors right now for our 82 classes. And
Wow.
All of them are carefully vetted, and they're all experienced. We have a guy that teaches our class on notes, who is anywhere from the second to the fourth biggest private note buyer in the country.
Wow.
Mark Kohler teaches our tax and legal classes. I've given you his background. He's a remarkable guy and extremely knowledgeable. And all of our instructors are like that. We've got just tremendous people, and they stay with us. It's pretty remarkable.
I love that. I think it's because you guys have vetted. I like that vetted word. I think that's important for people, because there's a lot of people spouting out a lot of information that's incorrect out there in the world. And so I love the vetting. I love the relationship part, and I love that you stressed that in the beginning, building a relationship with people.
Yeah, and Renatus is very big on compliance. They're very careful to do everything the right way. They companies have a way of getting shut down if they do things wrong. And Renatus has brought on some people from the Attorney General's office to oversee the compliance. They want to make sure they've got, in fact, I've got a video that I can send that Bob Snyder did where Renatus is going to be 50 years from now. They've got a vision. They've got a long-term vision.
So what do you say? What's the best way for, and again, I have a lot of y'all out there. You keep asking me about education classes. Well, here's an opportunity for you. What's the best way for them to reach out to you? Maybe get some of those clips that you talked about. Maybe set up a consult with you, Doug. What's the best way for the audience to do that?
I prefer email. What you've got going across your screen is my email, daleedy@gmail. It's pretty simple. It's the only one I have. And just put Ted's podcast or something like that in the subject line, and I'll know. And then you can ask what you want to ask.
I love that. I love that you're open to that.
Yeah, and then I would like to just schedule a short 5-10 minute phone call See if we're on the same page. Not everybody works well together, but not everybody has the same vision.
That's right.
I'm driven. The only reason I've been retired for 10 years. The only reason I'm doing this is I see a big hole in the real estate business, and it's only going to get bigger. Especially with AI coming, it's going to change a lot of things,
Sure.
and a lot of people are going to get hurt. And I think this is a way for them to keep from getting hurt.
Mitigate your risk, mitigate your
Yeah.
the fallout. You're right. I think AI is a challenge, and you have to figure out how to get on that boat, and have to have many other streams and opportunities out there, like you said, diversifying, because just there's so many challenges in our industry right now. And so why not spend the 5, 10, 15 minutes with Doug on the phone and see if this is a right fit? And then you can email him at daleedy@gmail.com. The company name is Renatus. He will get you that information, but reach out to Doug. He really does want to help.
Yeah, and it's not me. I wouldn't even be capable of teaching one of these courses. But I've got 42 instructors. It's like having 42 coaches. These guys, this is a remarkable program, and it's way too big to try to explain in a short segment like this. But if you go to dougleedy.com, it will walk through the whole thing, but it'll take you a couple hours to go through it because there is a lot there.
I love that. So yeah, that's also scrolling across there. And then I want you guys to diversify. Think about it for 2024. Reach out to Doug. Go to dougleedy.com if you want to get into it, or if you just want to have a conversation with Doug, email him at daleedy@gmail.com. Always a joy to have you on the show. I'm excited for 2024 and what you're going to do and what you can do.
Can I say one more thing, Ted?
Yes.
All right. This is a statistic from the National Association of Realtors. 87% of the people who get a real estate license today will be out of the business within 5 years. And this industry has lost 60,000 licensed realtors the first half of this year. We've been riding a good wave, as you mentioned earlier, for the past several years. Now it's going the other direction, and a lot of people are leaving the business. And that's why I do what I do. I want to keep people in the business, even if you're struggling, and even if you have to get a job temporarily. Keep your license. Don't give it up. Put it in escrow or whatever methodology your state has. But don't give up your real estate license. You've spent too much money and worked too hard to get it. And it may be something that you want to come back to 2 years, 5 years, 6 months from now. Don't cut off your nose to spite your face.
Agreed. Words of wisdom from the sage, the guide, Doug Leedy. All right, Doug, I hope you and your family have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. You all reach out to Doug. Don't wait. daleedy@gmail.com. Thanks, everybody. Have a great one. Thanks for being on, Doug. Appreciate it.
Oh, you bet, Ted. Thank you.